Hey everybody, it's Jamie from No Getting Off This Train. In today's video, I am going through my entire meal planning process with you. So how I come up with meal ideas, what I use for my grocery list, and how that translates from the grocery list to the store. So I never really did a whole lot of meal planning until I got married back in 2011. So I've had about 14 years or so to get a hang of the whole meal planning process. And that has changed over the years as well after having Allison and making different shifts in our lives, job changes, so our budget increases, that sort of thing. And I tried many different methods of like meal planning, different places to put grocery lists. But right now, I think I have a pretty good rhythm. So I'm going to take you through my entire process today, hoping that it will give you a little bit of inspiration. Like if you are new to meal planning and have no idea how to get started, I'm going to show you how I do all the meal planning for my family of 3. I've got multiple steps in this process, most of which I have down already, so let us get to it. First things first, I need to see what is in my fridge and my pantry and see what we are out of. That is like the very first thing that I do when I do my meal plan. A lot of the things I know I have to buy every week, like mostly eggs, milk, things like coffee creamer, possibly even rice or oats if I use a lot of them during the week. But I go through my house and I check out everything that I'm out of. As an example, so here is my fridge right now. It is very full at the moment, but it will be empty by the time I pick up all my groceries on Friday. So as you can see, I still have plenty of eggs, so I won't have to buy any for the next week. And then I'll check like coffee creamer. It is almost empty, so I will definitely need to stock up on that. Milk is pretty full. I also look for things like yogurts and things for Allison. My mom brought us like 4 boxes of these Go-Gurts, so we are totally good on the Go-Gurt for now. So that's really it for the refrigerator stuff. And then for the pantry, I'll look in here. Usually I try to keep, so up here I've got my pantry inventory. These are things that I like to keep in my pantry at all times. It's not currently up to date. I have not checked it in a little bit, but it's ideally what I would like to have. So looking up here, like at my pasta, if I have enough pasta here, we're good. Things like white rice, I know I'm getting really low on that, so I need to add that to my list. I've got chia seeds, other pastas. I've got plenty of peanut butter. The honey, I might need to go to Sam's Club to buy. There's different canned goods back there, so black beans, diced tomatoes, that sort of thing. If I notice that I don't have any of them, I will add that to my list. Once I figured out exactly what is in my house already and things I need to stock up on, it's time to go to the next step. I'll show you where I put my grocery list and everything here in a little bit. But after I write down all the things we're out of and need to restock on, I then look at the calendar. So, there are many different things that can go on in a week. Maybe your kids have sports practices, or maybe you have a lot of things going on in the evening. Maybe you already have a dinner out planned. So you want to keep all that into consideration when you make your meal plan. As far as like, well, how many dinners do I need to make this week? And what kind of dinners should I make? Like, do I want to make a slow cooker meal for the days that we're going to be out at sports practice? Or do I want to like meal prep a couple of things ahead of time so I don't have to worry about cooking that night? Like as an example, once a month, John and I volunteer at our church. And that means that we have to be there at like 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. And then when we get home, it's like 6:30, almost 7 o'clock. So I need something that's going to be really easy. Saturdays are always pancake night for us. So I always make sure that I have my pancakes already made that morning. So that way all we have to do when we get home is heat them up and then maybe make some scrambled eggs. So that's that process. The third thing I do is come up with like the rest of my meal ideas. And one thing that really helps me is making meal themes. When I say meal themes, I just mean like a certain style of food, and then you can come up with a recipe for that later. So examples of meal themes, you've got pasta, Mexican dishes, Asian inspired dishes, sandwiches, slow cooker, sheet pan, breakfast for dinner. All of those are like generalized themes, and then from there you can come up with your recipe ideas. Now, you don't have to eat them on like the same day every week. So for example, like Taco Tuesday, you don't have to have tacos or Mexican food every single Tuesday. It's just, I like having those themes written down or in my head. It just makes it easier to plan out dinners. So for me and my family, what this means is I'm always gonna have one Mexican inspired dish, one pasta dish. We always have pancakes on Saturdays, and then we always have a leftover night. So that is a 4 out of the 7 days. And then from there, sometimes, like if I have to make something to record for a blog post and a video, like I already have that part planned out. So I know I'm at least making one meal that's that. And then honestly, from there, I'm looking at Pinterest. I'm looking at just like other recipes that I've made in the past to see like what sounds good, just something to fill out those other 3 days. Another important thing about my meal planning process is that when I do this, I always plan dinners first. So that's like the hardest part for me. As long as I get all the dinners written down, I'm good. And so I do dinners first, and then I do breakfast. And then I worry about like snacks. Our lunches are always dinner leftovers, so I don't have to worry about making separate lunches. But as long as I get all the dinners for the 7 days, and then I have 1, maybe 2 breakfast ideas, and then planning on making some kind of a snack, then that's all my meal plan. Now I'm going to show you exactly where I put my grocery list, how I write it all down, and then how I do my shopping. So I have talked about using Trello before. This is where I do all of my meal planning and writing down all of the meal plan stuff, all of my dinners, the recipes, as well as my grocery list for the most part. Trello is an organizational app that most people just use for businesses, but I use this in all aspects of my life. So I do have different boards for my businesses. I also use it for meal planning. So over on the very left side here, this is where I have all my grocery lists. And so these things are called lists. Like each column is called a list. And then each of the things inside here is called a card. So I have my grocery list, and then the different cards here are like different grocery stores. So back in the day, before I did all of my shopping at Walmart, like the pickup, I would go to a couple different stores, and each store I would put in a grocery list. So as you can see, I have like Meijer, Aldi, Sam's Club. So a couple different things here. I haven't updated this in quite a while, but I still use a couple of them. So for example, Sam's Club, see down here, it says there's a check mark there, and there's 0 out of 2 items. That's my checklist. So if I click on it, down here, it says checklist, and I can write down whatever I need. So I have apples and grapes. Sometimes I will even like go to the website and look at the prices to kind of help me budget better. But if I need something else from Sam's Club, I'll just go add an item, and maybe I want some string cheese, so I can add that to my checklist. And then when I'm out shopping, I can click on the check mark, maybe. Okay, so these ones work. Click on the check mark, and then it crosses them off, but then I can also uncheck them. So if they are something that I buy every single week, then I can just uncheck them, and that's good to go. So like I said, I do the majority of my shopping at Walmart. So let's say I do all of my meal planning on Thursdays. That's when I place my Walmart order. But let's say it is Tuesday and I notice I'm out of something. I need to remind myself to put it on the grocery list for later. So I do have a Walmart card, and on anything that I need to add to the list that I want to put down so I don't forget, I'll put it on here. For example, vinegar. I know I need more vinegar, so I have it down here. So when I go to place my Walmart order, I'll know that this is right here and that I need to add that to the list. So I've got my grocery list over on the left side. These next two, one of them says meal plan, and then the other one says next week. The meal planning one, I sort of use It's kind of hard to explain. So the one that says next week, this is where I will put all of the things that I am making next week, obviously. So when I'm making my meal plan, I will put them all on this side. And what I originally wanted to do was like every Sunday when my meal plan starts, I would take one and move it over to the meal plan. And that way, when I am planning the next week's groceries in the middle of the week, then like this would be empty and this would be full of the ones that we still need to make. So again, next week, so I have different cards here for what I'm making. I have one specifically for breakfast. So when I click on, well, so if you see down here, there's an attachment thing. So when I click on it, I have country breakfast bowls for breakfast. And then for attachments, I can actually attach a link so that when I click on the link, it'll take me straight to the recipe and makes things a whole lot easier. So these are the two where I put all of the meals. And then these next ones here are different recipes. And this is kind of outdated. Like I try to use this as much as I can, but these are for recipes that we have made often. These are my tried and true favorites. And so when I am like at a loss of what to make, I have these over here. So I think what I might do next time when I feel like organizing everything is separate them into the meal themes. So like having one for Mexican style, one for pasta, sandwiches. I think that works better for my brain. But anyway, so for example, under the breakfast, as you can see, I've got the oatmeal cups right here. That attachment means there's the link to the recipe on there. You can also add photos. So you can take the photo of whatever you're making and like drag it or upload it onto the card. And that way you can see exactly what it is that you made. And I'm more of a visual person. So if I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, that was really good. I want to make it again. So as you can see, I've got plenty of others. If you don't have a link to a recipe, as an example down here, on my banana bread baked oatmeal, I actually have the recipe in like the description portion. So you can type out the ingredients, the instructions, and if you're looking at everything from your phone, then you can easily just look at it from there. And I do have the link to it as well, but if that makes it easier for you to add the recipes in the description there, then that's fine. But I have all sorts of cards here. I have one that is to try later, like recipes that I find that I haven't made yet but want to try. I'll put over here like blueberry protein muffins. So there is all of that. And then from there, I go to the Walmart website. I will go click on the links to all the recipes when I do my meal planning. I'll look at the ingredients. I'll add the ingredients to my Walmart shopping cart, schedule the pickup, and go from there. And it is super easy. I hope this has helped you guys. Now listen, I know that meal planning is really hard. In fact, like one of the things I hear the most is people have problems coming up with ideas. So hopefully like the meal theme idea helped you out, at least to give you like a generalized idea of some of the recipes that you can make. Also remember that I do offer 4-week meal plans in my shop. So these are 4 weeks, a whole month's worth of dinners. There's 16 different recipes, as well as like the nutrition and cost breakdown. I have the recipes for all of them, as well as a grocery list for each week and links to a pre-shopped grocery cart. So all you have to do is click on it, add everything to your Walmart cart, and then you can schedule your pickup. So it's literally like 5 or 10 minutes and then you are ready to pick up your groceries. I have a link to those down below. They're currently 25% off in my store, so make sure you check those out if that is something that you guys are looking for. So I hope this helped again. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you later.